Okay, so for this video we're going to draw a price taker making losses and a few reminders about price takers in general. They deal with many small firms that make identical products, and there are no barriers to enter or exit, so any firm can freely enter or exit the market for this product. And a price taker market means that the small firm has to take the world market price that was set for the product, and for this graph we're going to show a price taker making losses. So first we have to draw the world market graph. So we'll draw this in here. I'm just going to go ahead and draw the other individual firm graph as well. Got the line tool. So for price takers you always need to have the world market graph as well as the individual firm's graph, because you need to see where the world market price is coming from for the individual firm. Next we'll label these. So this is we're going to be dealing with cranberries. So we'll do the world market for cranberries, and we'll also draw in our axes for this. So this is going to be P for price and Q for quantity, and then we'll come over here and draw a text box for the individual firm. And a person who makes and grows cranberries is it's called actually cranberry bog. Very interesting fact. So then we have our price for over here as well as our quantity. So first we have to draw in our demand curve for the world market graph, and we also have to draw in our supply curve, and we'll label these. So we have our demand and our supply curve, and then you'll notice that right here this is where we're going to be getting our price. It's where the market equilibrium is located. So we'll just we'll use the pencil tool and come right over here and draw a somewhat straight line to get to the price, which is going to actually end up being the demand curve for the individual price taker firm. So we'll label this, and it's going to be the demand curve, which is also equal to the marginal revenue. And then we have to draw in our marginal cost curve. So we will do that. Let's see. We'll draw a straight line up there, and then we'll tug it down. That's a little marginal cost curve, and we'll make that green, and we'll label that. So we also have to put in our average total cost curve. So we'll do that. We'll draw a line there. We'll make this line red because cost is normally red, and then we'll drag it down so a little bit. And then we'll also throw in, after we label it, the average variable cost as well. You don't have to put the average variable cost in. It didn't say to, but we'll just throw it in there just because. And the location of where this curve will be, for this example, the firm would probably stay open just because the average variable cost is below the average variable cost is below the average total cost. So that's why you would stay open, because you're still in the short run making profits technically with your average variable cost curve, but not with your average total cost curve, which we'll see in a second. So first and foremost, you have to, in order to see if you're making profits or losses, you have to first find your marginal cost curve and your marginal revenue, where they meet. So they meet right here, and we're going to find Q star. So we'll go down to the axis with quantity on it, and this will be Q star, and we'll just label that too. So Q star is right there, and then the next step is to find Q star and follow that all the way up to the ATC. So we'll do that next. So we went all the way up here, and once you hit the ATC curve, you have to go over to the left to the price axis, and this will give you your average, not your average, your per unit cost for producing the product. So we're going to label that C. And what this graph is showing is that you're making losses for this firm because this whole area is a loss. So you're making negative profits and revenues. So we'll go ahead and shade that in, and we'll use red for loss. Now, I mentioned before that with the average variable cost in here, you would be staying open in the short run probably for the firm, just because your average variable costs are lower than your average total costs. But if your average variable cost was higher than the demand curve, so if your average variable cost was up here somewhere, you would probably shut down because you wouldn't be making any money whatsoever. But in conclusion, this graph is showing that this individual firm in the price taker market is making losses, and this is the area of those losses because the average total cost is above the demand curve, which means that the firm has costs that are higher than they can cover with the money that they're receiving from the price. Alright, so that is the price taker making losses, and in another video I will show you the price searcher graphs.